All right, y'all. We're back today. I'm gonna try to get the other side of the front of that, get that siding on there. But this is what I came home to today. I'm gonna flip it around here and show you what I got going on in here. Okay, here's what we got going. Now, see this water beading up on the top of here? That's because on these metal buildings, you always want it the same temperature inside. The inside of this metal the same temperature as the outside is, and or it's going to sweat like that. So that's the whole purpose that I was talking before. When you put this foam board in, you want to have an air gap between it and the roof. That way you see these little holes up here, the air can flow through behind the foam board and keep this metal the same temperature outside as it is on the inside. But right now we don't have anything up there, no kind of barrier, and it's obviously warmer inside this building than it is on the outside, and it's sweating like crazy in here. I had to move some of my tools and stuff up under the table here to keep them dry. But you can see up here on the roof right here where I opened the door, as soon as that cold air hits it, it cools it down right there. It's not sweating right there. So when we get our foam board up here on the top here, then it's going to let that air circulate through up there and keep it the same temperature. I hope that's the way it's supposed to do anyway. All right, y'all, let's get busy and get that siding on the outside. Okay, so I've already did a few steps before I started the camera up. I got the snow away from here, and I got a battery on my drill. I'm going to get this plywood took down. We'll get it took down out of the way and break these limbs off out of the way right quick. Get them out of the way. There. Back out of the way. All right, let's get it took off there. I'll just move in a bit. One right here. This baby out there and put it inside the building. Put them inside the building yesterday to keep them dry a little bit. It's wetter in there than it is out here. That roof's not sweat. I've got one board in here that I've got to take down out of my way so I can get my cord out of there. I didn't need that there anyway. That's not going to be the insulation for this wall. That's not going to be the insulation for this wall anyway, because we're going to put fiberglass in here. Put all these down. So I would put some screws back in. Go. Now we got our cord out of there. Go ahead and plug it up into our saw. Alright, go ahead and get our saw plugged in. Get it ready to go. Alright, now then I need to measure that. Should be 90 inches. It should be a 90-inch length like it was on the other side. Pretty close to it anyway. And it is 90 inches. Just like the other one. 90 inches. Alright, let me turn y'all around here. We're going to see what I'm doing here. Alright. Hit the pin. 90 inches. I'm going to go just a little shy of 90. Right there. Alright. Now, get my chalk line. Alright, got my chalk line. We'll put it right here on that line. Right here. Baby tight. There we go. Got a line on there. Let's get our line cut off. Or board cut off, rather. Well, I guess we'll cut the line off, so cut right on it. Got to cut right on it. Okay, I got my board cut. Now I ended up having to cut it to 89.5 inches. I thought 90, but we ended up cutting it to 89.5 because of the metal down here on the, I guess you call it the stoop of the door, where you step on it there. But anyway, we're going to put this up here. We're going to set on the blocks that the building's on right there. Move this way, but got it up there where it needs to be. I'm gonna put me a screw down the bottom. I've already put the washers on my screws ahead of time here, so we're gonna be moving right along. Trying to beat that sun before it goes down. Down here. Got that one. Grab my level and put it up here. See if we're level. And we are. We're level. So I'll put one up here in this top corner. Now we got it. Now check again, make sure we're level before we proceed any further. And we are. The bubble's right in the center. We're good. So let's get some screws in. Get one up here at the top. Up here. Go. Get that side in. Let's get the bottom. more screw in here. That help. All right. Put one right here. I gotta get some more screws. I'm gonna pause y'all and go fix up some more screws with washer. I got more screws made up. I'm gonna have to make more here in a little bit, though. I ain't getting enough. Anyway, I'm gonna get some more screws down the side here. I'll put some in the middle, and then I'm gonna probably take this one here back out, and this one up here in this corner back out until I get that other board in here, because it's got a little groove, a shelf here where another piece of that one sits down on it. So we'll have to do that. I need a little bit of slack in it when I do that. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull them out right now and go ahead and cut that piece of board and get it in there first before I do anything else. And I have to undo everything I've done. I'll take these two here out. Take these two screws out and get my board and cut it. Cut it, I need to lay it on the tailgate. Alright, I'm going to pause y'all and turn you around and get that board laid up there, and then we'll cut it off. Okay, I measured over there on the wall. My board needs to be 13 1/4. So we're going to measure here, across here, right direction. Alright, right here is going to be 13 1/4. Mark it 13 1/4 right here. 13 1/4. Right here, mark it 13 1/4. That's it. 13 1/4. We'll put our chalk line on it. Got our chalk line on there. Set that concrete block up there or something to hold it. One of these steel posts. That hold that plate before I get this cut. Maybe. This way, so. Alright. I hope it stays up there. Like it could. Cut my trellis, you know what I mean? right. There we go. I'm gonna take it right over here, then I'll turn y'all in. All right, there we go. Well, my safety glasses this time still got sawdust in mine. But anyway, that's just the way it goes again. Just slide that in there. That one. There. Behind that. Yeah. Getting that sliding right in there where it needs to go. On the inside. Now it's sliding. Now it's starting to slide. All right, we got it in there now. Got it in place. Got it in place where we need it. It's in there real good. Mark it now, and I gotta take it back out. And after I mark it and cut it off. That's crazy. It's gonna be tight in there, I know that much. It might have been easier if I just went ahead and took these bolts out of here like I did yesterday on the other side, but thought I'd take a thought I would take a shortcut. Instead, ended up being more trouble than it's worth. Go. Now, after all that trouble, now pull the thing back out. But you know, I don't have to pull it all the way out. I can just cut it off right here. I can cut it off right there, I think. Should be able to. Let's see what we can do. Got it in there. We got it in there, boys. Oh about things the hard way sometimes, don't I? But it works. We got it. So now I put my bolts or my screws back in there. Got our siding on both sides of the door. Move this out of the way. Here. So, I need to cut me a piece. I need to measure and put a piece right down here under the door. And we'll have it. I got a piece right here. I can cut off of probably. Size it is here. Be long enough. Go up under there too. Let me let's see here. Measure that right quick. Bottom of that board to that is 6 inches. So it would be 6 inches thick. And that's what it is, it's 6. A little bit off on one end. But that'll work. And how long does it need to be? UKB. 32. 32. All right, we're going to cut that off right quick. Let's see if it fits. No, it don't, because I didn't measure it right somewhere. 32. It's 32. Oh. It's 32. How long was that? I thought I said 32. 36. 36. So, I'll cut this one off 4 inches and we'll split it. What's the difference? Now let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Right here. Now, what I got these two pieces here with the groove, and there's a groove, and I can slide them together just like that and have the whole thing. All right. Let's see how it's going to work here. Just a little bit off the bottom. Hands over there. All right. All right, y'all. Sorry about that, but the phone cut off when I was putting that bottom board. I was putting that little bottom board down there at the bottom of the door. But we got it. That's all you missed on the whole thing was that right there. That little last bit I did. And it's looking pretty good. I'm going to flip it around, let you see how it looks, because the phone's about to die again. I'm going to put it on charger, and I got to run to town and get some chicken feed and stuff before dark if I can. Be dark when I get back. But anyway, I'm going to flip it around and let y'all see it. All right, so there's what we got. We got the siding on it. We got it underneath the door and on both sides of the door. We got it up there. So that'll keep it airtight in there maybe for a while. And then we'll start working on the back side of it, putting the plywood up probably tomorrow. And then we'll run our wiring and our insulation, stuff like that. Step by step, we'll get all that done. And then we'll put windows in it at the last. Probably I'll go ahead and put windows in it. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching.